gonna lie. I had to redo this first part here because I had the speed up really high and I'm looking around left to right all over the place, making sure that I don't smash my tractor into a tree or whatever else that might happen. But I was going really fast and it was kind of making me dizzy. So I slowed this down just a little bit so that maybe you guys didn't get dizzy immediately. And if it does become a problem, I need you guys to let me know because I kind of decided to buy this new GoPro with this little head strap that I could put on my head so that I could kind of do some recording while I was on the tractor. And we also got another camera that I figured out, and I'm going to tell you this like 3 times, so here's the 4th time. I got it figured out how to start and stop my camera while I'm on the tractor, and that way I don't have to get on and off the tractor. Here we go. Good morning, folks, and happy Saturday. Today is going to be day 65 working out here at the ranch, I hope. It's been wild and crazy at work. The weather's been wild and crazy, if you can imagine that. But it's the first time I've been able to get down here in a couple of weeks. It is actually fairly dry down here. I was a little bit nervous, but it seems like a lot of these little spots that I filled in will kind of give you an idea where we're at here. But so the last time I was down, and this was what I didn't get recorded, but as you can see, some of that is still pretty wet right there. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get in here and open up. But the other problem I'm having is I'm actually just about out of dirt. I'm gonna maybe, possibly, we'll kind of see what happens, but I may try to brush hog a little bit more down in here. Again, one of my main concerns is that it's probably pretty wet the farther this away we go. Same thing on the other side. But anyway, pretty much the week after I did day 64, we got rain pretty much that whole week. And then a tropical storm, Arthur, I believe, came in. I got a lot of this stuff all over the place here. Anyway, little tropical storm came through. I think it was Arthur. And I mean, this area, that, matter of fact, not going to tell you the name of the road I live on just because I don't want people stalking me, but they called this road out on the weather that there was a possible tornado on the ground. Now, on my way out here, I did see some serious damage up the road, not very far, but the highway on the way out here, the highway to get here was closed down like most of last week because of debris, because of the flooding, all that. But this other side is, it's really soft in here still. And one of the bigger problems that I'm gonna have, other than work, is they're calling for rain pretty much every day next week. Now, that's not unusual for Mississippi. It's in the like 30 to 40% chance, so that's good. There's this big part of me that says I'm really not gonna be able to get in here and do everything I need to do until we kind of start getting closer to like October and November, when we kind of have our dry months. But I haven't really quite decided what I'm gonna do. I wanted to come down here and see how soft it is. Now, I got into this area pretty easily. But the closer I get to these edges, the softer it gets. So I don't want to get my tractor stuck. I don't know that I'd get it stuck. I just don't know how much I really want to poke and prod out here. Up there by the lean-to, as you saw when I drove in on the tractor here, it's pretty dry up there, and it could definitely use a little bit of a haircut. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice again, so I'm hoping that we just don't get a bunch of rain, and then maybe possibly in the next couple of weeks it'll be dry enough out here to come out and do some stuff. But you know, right here it's really wet, and again, I kind of have to be mindful where I use my dirt. It looks like I've got quite a bit of dirt over there, but after you start grabbing a couple of bucket loads, it disappears pretty quick. Those were 3 big mounds. Those were 3 big mounds of dirt, and they're pretty much whittling away. So I think what I'm gonna do now that I've been down here is I'm gonna go back up top. We're gonna go back and I'm gonna show you what I did up top here, because I opened up the trails a little bit, and we're gonna see how wet it is back there. One of the reasons I really want to get back there is because I think there's going to be some spots that I can actually, if I can get them cleared out, I can actually go in there and start getting my own dirt out of the ground. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get a couple trucks of dirt out here to continue filling in this area. But that's the dirt that I'm down to, and it was basically way out to here when I started. So I got to try to sparingly use my dirt that I have right now until I can get some more. So what my thought is if I can get up and fill in some spots back there so I can make my way back down that one trail that we kind of talked about the last time, and we'll go there again. But maybe I can get in there, get it dried up, get an area opened up, start bringing in my own dirt. Day 65, folks. We'll see what we can get done. Here we go. One thing that I'm going to have to start working on probably after the 4th of July is I'm going to have to start working on putting together another little music library. Otherwise, you guys are going to be completely tired of hearing me talk. I do like this new kind of point of view camera that I got. I am noticing, as you can see, it seems like I have to be a little bit more slow about looking around, but I kind of looking around everywhere just to see if there's anything I'm seeing that I might need to see. And it seems like it's kind of a little bit bouncy, but I apologize for that. One thing I did notice is all the rain had basically exposed a whole bunch of root systems down here at the bottom. There was a whole bunch more sticks that seemed to have shown up. I don't know if that was from the storm or what, but I'm definitely going to have to get down there and get some more of those big sticks cleaned up, and probably do another round of brush hog with the brush hog, because that does seem to break it down quite a bit. We're going to kind of get into some more brush hogging here up at the top. And after I was done, I'm like, okay, this is really actually working pretty well. The other thing is I did some work on the Sunday after day 65. Or day 64, excuse me. I basically just came down there and got on the tractor and went without the cameras, without anything going on. But I did some work on the driveway. I noticed it on the edges of the driveway, I should say. I noticed that it actually was looking pretty good even after that storm. But we'll talk about this in a little bit. The neighbor came by. He got stuck in his tractor in a spot that he was pretty positive was dry, but after he had gotten a bucket load of dirt, he got stuck. It took him a while to get out. So I definitely need a good couple of weeks with as little as rain as possible to actually get in here and really start having at it without being worried I'm going to get stuck. I swear my neighbor's got cows. I'm telling you, I keep hearing cows. Not going to hear it now that I'm listening for it. All right, so look, we came in here. I think you guys got to see this. Actually, that's actually kind of good that it's showing me where it's really low at right there. But this actually looks like it held up pretty good. Still got a little bit of a run through there. But so one thing I did, I came back the day after I did day 64, and I opened this trail up a little bit wider. I got to keep my eyes out, folks. I saw 2 snakes in the road on the way down here. So they're moving around. But I kind of pushed in through here to see how much of this I could get cleared out of here. And kind of poked into here a little bit. And anyway, I think we're going to be able to keep on doing that. And opening this up a little bit more. So I kind of wanted to come back here and see how soft this is back here. I mean, it doesn't seem terrible. My biggest concern is right in here, which that feels pretty solid, but I almost need to come in here and drive over this. I don't know if that's footprints or what that is. I've only got a few game trails up right, or game cameras up right now. Oh, see, that was pretty soft. Let's see what this looks like over here. But, oh, that's soft. But my hope was that maybe, I'm gonna see if I can enhance that. I'm telling you, Mike, I think my neighbor's got cows. I'm hearing like mooing. This is still pretty wet in here. I can still hear frogs, I think, over in the other direction. So yeah, I think there's still spots that are really wet. I came in, I put a little dirt in here. Oh look, we got some deer tracks through there. This is pretty soft. What I was really hoping to do, oh, holy cow, that's pretty soft. I don't know that I'd be able to do it. It's still really wet out here. Seems like some spots are really bad and other spots aren't that bad. Oh, I thought our pole fell down. There's just something seems a little different out here for some reason. This is really pretty soft, but this is where I need to go. I need to get back into there. I need to get this little corner cleared out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it yet. I did. Oh, I thought I heard rattling. I hope that's not a rattlesnake. Excuse me. Yeah, I got my cameras and I could get them set back up. I may actually pull this out of here just so it's out of the way. Yeah, this is still pretty soft. Sorry I keep saying that, but I keep thinking that I'm hearing something moving around over there. I keep thinking every day that goes by that it doesn't rain, that it's like gonna get drier and drier out here, but this is still wet. There's still a big trench of water back there. Kind of sucks because I was really hoping, I mean, we've had, I want to say probably 5 good days without significant rain where it's been 90 plus degrees outside. But I kind of want to get back here and work in this area, and I don't really think I'm going to be able to. I just don't want to get stuck. I don't really want to have to deal with that today. And I probably should have brought my weed eater, because I feel like we're almost back to, oh, that's muddy. I feel like we're almost back to hand tools. I got my part ordered for my brush hog, my DR Pro 30. I'm just trying to keep an eye out on the ground, folks. I don't want to step on an old Eastern Diamondback. So I've got that ordered. They said it may take a couple weeks, but hopefully I can get that back up and running. But yeah, I kind of open this up, and I kind of want to keep poking and prodding in here. There's a couple good sized trees in here that I need to get rid of, but I just feel like it's still a little bit wet back here. That if I'm sinking in the mud, that tractor's definitely going to sink in the mud. But I might be able to get some dirt in here and kind of keep filling in this little trench right through there, because I feel like the smoother I can get it up here, the easier it'll be to get up in, at least into this area. Anyways, I'm doing a lot of babbling. I was hoping to do some work today. I think the best I'm going to really be able to do is maybe get into a couple of these little areas and get the mower out and mow it up. But and one good thing is I've got some grass growing through here, so that definitely helps. Hopefully we can get this smoothed out at some point in time. I've got my eyes on a box blade that oh yeah, like, see, this thing's still in the ground. Let me get that out of there. I've got my eyes on a box blade that hopefully we can get in here, kind of get some of this stuff smoothed out, dug up. There's a lot of root systems in here, folks, a lot. So that's kind of my biggest enemy right now. But anyway, I'm gonna think on it for a minute. We'll figure something out to do since I came down here, but I'd like to maybe get some dirt up in here if I can. Get as much as I can filled in on some of these areas, because I want to start poking my way back towards the back there. Here we go. Well, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of remember doing this in the very beginning, trying to have two cameras going, doing two different things, and then actually trying to come in here and get it all edited and figured out. This video is probably going to be a little bit longer than most of my videos, but anyway, I came in here and I decided to go ahead and get cleaned up what I could with the brush hog. And then after a couple of passes, and again, I'm sorry for the jerkiness here on the point of view camera. I could slow it all the way down. We'd have about a 4-hour video if I did that. But I feel like I took a couple passes here and cleaned up what I could. And then the thing that kept happening was one of these trees kept kind of getting in my way. But we'll get to that here in a minute. But again, one thing I like about this brush hog is it seems to really break down that mulch that was left over when they came in with the mulch drum on the skid steer. And this seems to really be kind of getting it completely pulverized, if you will. And you can kind of tell I'm going kind of fast, but it's kind of smoothing things out. So here's the first pass, and I like barely make it through that little area right there with the tree. So I kind of took a couple more passes, got what I could get without, you know, getting my tractor smashed into a tree or getting the brush hog smashed into a tree. But there was another tree that I think at some point in time I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. But I got to tell you, I'm kind of really enjoying this Kubota. Oh, by the way, my little Bigfoot there lost an arm. I don't know how, but it tipped over and he lost part of his arm there. But I think it was right about here I decided, yep, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and get rid of that tree. So anyways, I kind of got myself circled back around to figure out the best way to go about it. And I kind of wasn't exactly sure how everything was going to go. But once I kind of started to get on top of this tree and push it a little bit, I kind of had gotten so far that I decided I better just go ahead and go through with it. I was only having a little bit of luck, and my tires started kind of digging into the ground here. So I decided I better get a better line on it. I was really hoping to use a little more of my point of view camera on this, but I don't know if it kind of got adjusted pointing up in the air or what, but I wasn't really looking at what I was looking at. So it was kind of just off into space a little bit. But let me tell you, folks, I was a little bit excited when I finally popped this tree up out of the ground. I'm kind of doing some different stuff, folks. I'm actually figured out how to run my cameras off my phone. So I hope we're recording right now. But I did something I was hoping I could do. I made a little bit of a mess, but I think I can get it cleaned up. But I pretty much was able to get in there and pop out this whole tree. It's not a huge tree. It's a fairly decent sized tree. And it's going to take me a minute to get it cleaned up. But this is kind of what I'm hoping, that I can kind of get in here on some of these kind of medium sized trees, kind of like these right here, and get down, dig them out, and pop them up and out of here. That way I don't have to deal with stumps. You know, most all of that broke loose in there, and like really anything that doesn't, yeah, like that pretty much all broke loose. I've got a tooth, what are we calling it, tooth bar. I've got a tooth bar on the way for my bucket, so that ought to help break through this root system. So I'm going to spend a few minutes. I'm going to get my Sawzall out and kind of get this kind of chopped down a little bit more so I can move it. But I think I'm going to just kind of keep working in here. Again, I can't get too close down to there, but it's kind of one of them deals where like I've got all this stuff that's just kind of stuck in the ground still, that I'm hoping I can kind of come through with the bucket and pop it up. But anyway, it's like 95 degrees, so I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get my Sawzall, I'm gonna get that tree cleaned up, get it in the burn pile, and then basically try to come back and get that smoothed out just a little bit like it never happened. Here we go. This kind of reminds me of playing a video game and being in first person mode, where all you can really see is my hands and whatever tool that I have in my hands. But I do kind of like this point of view. I like this camera point of view. I think the only problem is it seems to kind of bounce around on my head a little bit every now and then, so I might have to figure out how to tighten it up a little bit. But anyway, I was pretty excited to be able to have a couple cameras going, be able to show what's going on. I think eventually it'll be easier to have just one camera running, especially once I find just one little area to clean up. But we got this tree cleaned up out of there. I kind of come back through and smooth it out a little bit the best I can. So here we go. I wouldn't say that I made it look like it never even happened, but after a little bit of poking and prodding here with the bucket and trying to get that completely cleaned up and out of the ground, I felt like it was much smoother over there than actually I thought it would end up being. But again, I've got a tooth bar coming. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks that we'll hopefully just cut these roots right in half and make it a whole lot easier to get them pushed up out of the ground. I will say that if they're tangled up in other roots, like it fights me. It fights me just as bad as it did when I was using a rake, folks. But I think at this point right here, my camera goes out. Truth be told, I had so much fun popping that first tree up out of the ground that I figured better keep my eye out for another one. I got a little pinned in right there, but decided to sneak around onto the other side, so I had a little bit more room to move around. But I kind of noticed when I was doing this video, more so in real life, that this tree right next to it, to the one I'm bringing down here, seems like maybe it wants to come on up out of the ground too. So I may have to keep an eye on that and go ahead and pop it up out of the ground next time. But yeah, I ended up getting about 3 trees popped up out of the ground and out of the way. And again, the thing I really like about it is no stumps. I kind of pop all that up out of there. But what I did notice is how deep that root system goes. I mean, it makes a big trench in the ground because of how deep that root system is. But I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited to get back out there and hope don't run into the camera, man. Or the camera, man. But I am definitely excited to get back out there and get some more work done. Especially when I know for sure I'm not going to have to worry about getting stuck in the mud. Like I said, the neighbor got stuck the other day and I don't want that to happen to me. All right, folks. Well, I've been out here a couple of hours. Neighbor stopped by. I got a call. I need to go back to work. No emergency, but got to get a few things done. But hopefully, if all my filming worked out, which I'm working with a new GoPro, and I just now realized that my batteries don't fit the new GoPro, so that battery died on me. I got a little strap for my head there, but we'll see how well that looks when I go back and replay the video. I popped a tree up out of here, roots and all, so that was good. This root system, folks, is ridiculous. I was just talking to my neighbor. He was saying the same thing, that, you know, it's like a huge root system. This one over here, yeah, here, this was a, I don't want to say little bitty, it was a pretty small tree, but like it pulled up all of that stuff right in there. So big dip right there. Same thing over here. But I think, again, eventually I'm gonna get a box blade. I'll kind of get in here, tear it up a little bit, and then try to smooth it out. Somewhere down the line, him and I were talking, he got stuck with his tractor yesterday. That we were talking about how it's deceptive out here. Like, it looks like it's dry, then once you kind of put a little bit of weight, you definitely start sinking. But I've got that's what we were going to do instead of just me babbling on.
I think I've only got one trail camera left out here right now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. Eventually folks, I'm gonna get them all set back up, but it's just a lot going on right now. I highly doubt I'll be down here for another couple. I'll come down tomorrow and see if it's dried up a little bit more, and hopefully it's either dried up enough that I can get back here and do something, or down by the road. I'd like to start pushing my way back through there to get to that big opening right there. There's a big digger track right there, so we should have something here on our main camera where we pick up most of the live action. But anyway, folks, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna grab this trail camera. I think this is the last one I've got out here. I might have one on that tree down there. We'll go double check, but let's grab this one and see what we got.
Yep, that's it. That's all we got.
The battery might be dead on this one. I'm not sure. The neighbor did confirm that the new neighbor across the road, he definitely got cows. He got some cows, so that's cool. We got some cow. I'm telling you, that's like the second time I thought I've heard like a rattle. I do not want to get bit by a rattlesnake. All right, I opened this up a couple weeks ago, really about right when I first got my tractor. I kind of want to walk through and see. It's still a little bit mushy, but I need to get to this other side eventually and start opening up a little ditch. Ooh, I just about walked right in that spider web. But I'm hoping I might be able to poke through right there or poke through there and start getting that direction and getting that opened up. But I kind of opened this up out here a couple weeks ago, and eventually I need to get my grapple put on there. The problem is there's thunder. That's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, I do have one out here. The problem with putting the grapple on is I'm only gonna need it for a few minutes. Oh, I just about walked into that joker. And the truth of the matter is, I think that spider's still. Oh, I think I still got part into his web. It was a lot. The problem with the grapple is I'm only going to need it for a few minutes, and then I got to put the bucket back on, and it's not that hard of a project, but it's kind of like I want to do almost as much as I need to do before I go, okay, I got to have the grapple. But anyway, I'm babbling on. Let's grab this one. I'd like to get into this area at some point in time, get it all cleaned up. What I'd really like is about a month without any rain and cooler weather. Well, folks, I think day 65 is a wrap. I kind of learned a few things today. We're gonna hope my new camera system kind of works. I figured out how to start the camera and stop the camera with my phone. I may have said that already. I came in here. This is the tree. I just pulled that trail cam off here. This is our hot spot. But I came in here and I wanted to just see if I could push into here and get this opened up a little bit. Because I think if I can go that way, they've got a lot of stuff piled up right over here. So I might be able to go this way, but it looks like there's a big tree stump right there. I may be able to go through here, but possibly tomorrow. There's just a lot of debris right here. That's why I was going to try to make my own path, but we'll see what happens. But if I can get back into there tomorrow, I may try to do that. If it feels dry enough down at the bottom, I want to keep working the bottom. But whew, it's a mess out here right now, folks. It's you know, all the work that has been done, and I mean even before I got out here, it seems like I'm still kind of dealing with it to a degree, whether it's stumps coming up out of the ground or, you know, stuff like this. That's actually broke loose, but I think I've kind of figured out how to kind of skim the top layer without digging down too much into the ground. Again, I've never had a tractor, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go. But I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of them folks make it look a lot easier than what it is. But my game plan, especially if it doesn't rain, I heard thunder a minute ago. It seems like it's no longer a problem. But I either want to work down here in the bottoms, get up here, and see if I can get some more dirt taken back into there. I've already pulled out a couple scoops of dirt today, so again, my dirt's dwindling down. I think it's about $300 to $400 to get a big size truck to come out here and dump some dirt, so I may end up doing that. We'll see what happens. But if I can get back there and get my own dirt and clay, that'd be nice. I think I know just from a couple little practices that I've done, like right here, and even over there, I think I can start bringing in my own dirt if I can get to a good spot that I want to dig up, basically. Anyway, all that babbling on, I got the radio going. Hopefully the copyright don't pick up on that, but I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hey, one more week, we'll be at the 4th of July. Y'all be safe, have fun. We will catch you next time.